Hello, everyone, and welcome to another day and a special one at that. This is the Warcraft Direct post-conversation episode where we discuss the future of Classic Plus, the future of the show, and just the future of Classic as a whole. Now, many of you watched the Warcraft Direct, and you guys saw that there was, in fact, no Classic Plus. But it's not actually dead. What do I mean? There was so much news to cover. We're going to deep dive all of that. But before we go into Classic Plus into more detail, we're going to start with the Warcraft Direct. And honestly, Tello, give me your honest, unfiltered opinion. How do you rate Warcraft Direct and how did it make you feel overall?
Honestly, I was watching the direct like everybody else, and I think they started off very strong with Warcraft with showing Warcraft 3 2.0 and showing Warcraft 2, and then also showing 1 remastered, and showing basically just the incomplete graphic overhaul of the games and changes to improve the mess that Warcraft 3 was, obviously having with the 2.0 update. And they released their whole battle chest thing for like about $40. If you already have it, then you can just install the other versions. But I think it was pretty cool. That was a really strong opening, and I really enjoyed that. I was like very happy as a person watching, because I was like, damn, honestly, good start. I can't hate this. Let's see what else they got in the arsenal. And then they showed Rumble, Hearthstone, which is like, cool. It's cool they put Rumble on PC. I'll give them
Yeah.
that. So I don't think that's an L. I think that it's much better that it's on PC now, or you get to play it on PC soon or whatever. But more power to them. I have no problem with that one. Hearthstone with StarCraft, or I just didn't care too much about the whole Hearthstone thing personally. I always consider Hearthstone a game you play in the bathroom, personally, and that's about it. No disrespect, but yeah, to each his
A
own.
shitter game.
Yeah, a shitter game. I mean, a game for the shitters. And hey, that I'm sure people liked that. Then they started getting to, everybody knows like the classic stuff, sod and everything. And this is where my problems came. Where personally, I didn't like how fast they skimmed through sod on the direct. It went so quick, where they said Scarlet Monastery instance, the Deadwind Pass, and then they just jumped right away right into Mop, where I was like, holy shit. Like we went from that, we went through sod as fast as possible, right into Mop, right into Classic right away, in all of the span of a couple minutes. And then they showed the roadmap in between at some point there, where it's like, I can't believe, first things first, I know this is fucking insane, but the roadmap was true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, what? How was that roadmap leaked hours before end, and that was true?
Dude, I actually on my stream said it was a fake roadmap, and I showed all the reasons why it was fake, and I broke it all down to like how it looked. So many things were like wrong or unprofessional, like just brand new, and it turned out to be real. And I was like, "What the fuck? This looks like an alpha roadmap or something that was cooked up very last minute because something got pushed back." Which is I'll cover the conspiracy later, but you know what I'm thinking.
For sure. No, yeah, I know. And it just really bummed me out seeing that roadmap. Like my happiness, like it's like seeing the the Mr. Incredible meme, like where he's like smiling and then he's just like upset and like really like depressed, and there's like a Deftone song in the back, or some type of really dark song playing in the back, and it's like really down. And I was like, bro, are you serious? Because I was so upset with that roadmap for the SOD player base. So for my SOD players, and the people that watch the podcast have been supporting us, thank you, and just watching both our channels, I was feeling bad for you guys, because I was like, dude, there is nothing there. I'm sorry, like I'm just trying to put this. I see a column up here for retail, or not retail, sorry, Cataclysm, and obviously with Mr. Pandaria, right? I see I see a whole row for the WoW 20th anniversary, the classic how many more classics? I guess the next one's classic, classic, classic. We're just tripling the word,
The
whatever. And then I
CCC.
see the CCC, you know what I mean? And the true classic experience, and then I see the bottom one, and it just says phase 6 or 7, and then 8 with Nax or whatever, and then blank.
Yeah.
An entire blank.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, I'm sorry. If I was a teacher in a class and you came to my Excel presentation, I would have been like, excuse me, what's on what about the bottom? Everything is so
Yeah.
nice up top and there's so much filled out. What about the bottom row? It's very, very empty. Is that normal? And then it's it's not. It just blew my mind. So let me stop ranting. But basically, after that happened, they showed, you know, I guess the 20th anniversary, right? And I know people are happy about that. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I am looking forward to just playing it for the heck of it, because at the end of the day, I love WoW leveling. I personally don't mind the journey. I think if you make it fun on your stream or with your friends, it's always a good experience. And I've seen a lot of people mention on a lot of other creators' videos that they are looking forward to Classic Fresh personally. And there was also a lot of negativity about a lot of people not looking forward to Classic Fresh. So unfortunately, there is a divide within the community, and it's just natural. People are not going to like others' opinions. They all feel like they know what's best. They all have PhDs in WoW, right?
Mhm.
And I know I even mentioned this earlier. We were on the Blazing Pod podcast as well.
Mhm.
But to be honest with you, if I were to rate that event, I would rate it. I initially, when I was annoyed, I gave it a 5 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie, because obviously I'm a fan of Sod. I love Sod.
Yeah.
Like, I really, like, I know I don't play it anymore as much as I did, and I want to, like, go back to it here and there just to maybe do a log or two and PvP, because I think that's the funnest thing to do. But honestly, like, I felt bad for them. I really did, because I feel like they didn't deserve what they got. And
Mhm.
obviously what Sod's been through when it was doing so well and had, a lot of the WoW world, I say, not the whole world, but the WoW world by storm. And and then they hit us with an hour and a half or 2 hour orchestra that was pre-recorded. So that was longer than the entire direct. So I think it was okay. I'll save anything else I'm gonna say, but, like, honestly, what do you think about the direct? Do you feel like this was I guess I think I could give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10 personally. Now I'll upgrade it from a 5. I was a little salty about
Yeah.
it, so I'll upgrade it. And obviously, I noticed that you don't have any uh, cuts or bruises or any bumps or any drinking incidents. I don't see no bottles of whiskey in the back. I'm just making sure you're okay as a classic plus, Andy. And how are you still alive? Is my question.
So I editor play the clip. I don't know if I'll actually put the clip in here or not, but I had a little tweak out session at the end of the direct where I think I peaked at like 600, 700 viewers over on Twitch, on YouTube, which
It was
I know
great.
it's not a huge amount compared to what like some Twitch streamers get, but like I have like 7,000 subs, 6,700.
It was a
So
W.
for
It was a
me,
W.
I had a huge audience there, and I tweaked out, and chat was losing their mind. They found it hilarious. But yeah, I had a little tweaking session, and I'm good now because So to clarify, I put everything on black at the casino, and it landed on red. In fact, it
Yes.
wasn't red. It landed on a color that wasn't even on the fucking bingo board. It just went and like goddamn green, yellow, some random ass color, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how? I just straight up just tweaking, and then then you see on Twitter and the blue post, etc. Just like they see the massive backlash happening because like sure, there's people excited for Fresh, and I'm excited. I'm playing it as well. I have a guild and a community and everything happening, but it's Fresh. We literally were just an MC less than 3 months ago, 4 months, something like
Yeah.
that, and
True.
literally MC is coming out again in less than a month. December 12th is MC again.
Yeah, that is
And
exhausting.
so, like, the whole point I'm trying to say is that I expected Classic Plus, and by every metric and everything pointing towards it, there should have been a Classic Plus. because the devs literally right after the damage control saying, guys, calm down, take a deep breath, SoonTM at the end of phase 7. And I'm like, why didn't you just announce it? So Classic Plus is not dead by any means. It's still coming, it's still in the works, but I'm still very upset about the fact that the announcement was delayed because the hype is not there. In fact, despite a lot of people being excited for Fresh, the hype is still pretty low in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna play the shit out of Fresh. I'm an OnlyFans. I'm gonna have a good time playing an OnlyFans, hardcore and all that. But I just felt like a little tired. So you're not gonna really see any conspiracy videos from me for the next couple months. I'm still gonna be making classic content, maybe a few guides here or there. But like, until we get closer towards phase 7, I'm probably taking a break from, like, you know, a Pepe Sylvia, essentially.
Much needed break, brother.
But now, thank you. But now, my opinion on the Direct itself. So now we got that out the way. I thought like I thought it was pretty cool. Hearthstone x StarCraft was like cool. Okay, this is nice. Congratulations to all the people. You now play StarCraft on the toilet. And then Rumble. Like, I want to make fun of Rumble. I want to crack jokes, but it probably makes more money than Classic. And that's a...
Played on the PC, for sure.
I'll play it on the PC. I'll give it a shot. It's like, it's cool. I'll give it a W. Those two events, like, I'll rate them like a 7 out of 10, because they weren't actually bad. Like, I gotta be honest, there was nothing actually wrong with them. It's just, I'm a Warcraft channel, right? So for me, it's like, no matter how good they are, it's like, I don't care. Then the RTS shit, amazing. The Battle Bundle, Warcraft 1 and 2, they actually did a lot more than I thought they were. It's not just like a basic ass high definition package. They actually fixed the UI elements. 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 for me, because they fixed Warcraft 3 Reforged as well. So like really solid work from Blizzard.
Yeah.
Then you come to Classic. And Phase 7, Deadwind Pass, Scarlet Mega Dungeon. It's not a raid, supposedly it's an instance. And I think it's a 10-player instance, just based off what it looks like. Wording, it's all of Tears Fall, or Tears Hand. Tears Fall. Whatever. Looks really cool. But it's not a raid. So straight up, that's a negative. And yeah. Deadwind Pass is also supposedly not a raid. Another negative. Despite how cool both those announcements are, why are they dungeons? That feels like a bait and switch. That almost feels like they were going to announce something else, and they announced that really quickly, because both those things got taken off and put to something else. Which, I'll get onto that in a second. And then retail. Well, I've talked about the rest of Classic. Mob Classic, we knew that was coming. I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And then I was like, yeah. And then I was like, oh yeah, cool. Classic, very nice again. Hardcore Fresh again. Who would have known? Evan predicted everything except Classic Plus. The one thing that I knew I was right about that got delayed, and I'll prove my theory later when they do announce it next year sometime. I have to shave my head at some point. That was my bet with chat. I said I was gonna go bald. They were trying to get me to do my eyebrows as well, but I don't want to do my eyebrows, so I'm gonna shave my head at some point. I'll figure.
In the comments below, he should shave his eyebrows too. Don't be a pussy.
No, I'm not doing that. Not happening. No, not happening. 10,000 subs and I'll do it.
10,000 subs.
Not on YouTube. Twitch subs.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
He's like, I need the.
Yeah. I'm gonna look like a malnourished fucking mushroom. I need payment.
Dude, full conspiracy unlocked. Ultra instinct.
Piccolo looking ass, like, okay.
Yeah.
So you know, and then we go into retail, and I was like, oh, holy shit, Kazan, the Undermine, Drift Racing. Did you guys bring like a Forza dev onto this shit? I never thought I'd be like, you know, like, oh, what are you doing? Oh yeah, I'm Drift Racing down in Kazan, huh? Can you imagine going back 20 years and telling somebody about the future of World of Warcraft? What does WoW look like in 20 years? Where are we? You know, the Undermine? They tease that. What's it like? So we're Drift Racing. So, you know, I got my nice pod racer. And I'm just me and Ethos72 by my side. We're just going ham for ham. And then, you know, I was like, I'm world champion. You know, I got my 3,000 MMR. He's like, what the fuck are you saying? What are these words? But then that was pretty cool. You know, all that stuff was really amusing and interesting. And then player housing. Top tier. Really, really good that they finally did that. W. So there's two scores. the objective truth, the score that it deserves, is a 9 out of 10. It was a very good Warcraft Direct.
True.
The subjective opinion, negative.
Oh,
Where's Classic Plus?
Facts. I mean, dude, we're Classic players. Like here's the thing. Like, we don't. I'm sure we don't hate the Direct. Like, you're right. I even forgot about retail and all that, and the housing. Just thinking about it. So, like, I'm sure, like, realistically, I'd give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10. Let's be real, okay? Like, if we're being legit about it, like, okay. But yeah, like the Classic player in us, we would love to see Classic Plus. Like, let's be factual. But obviously, that's, maybe they're just saving it until next year, and then to also, comment on the Scarlet Monastery and the Kerosene Crypts, right? So, like, I honestly think that it's gonna be an Agron approach where he's probably gonna say, maybe even in the comments of his own podcast, where he basically says this is the good foundation steps for us to build towards something in the future to further more explore this, and that's something that they could use. It's a valid response to understand, like, okay, maybe it's not what we wanted, but in the future it's something we're going to expect with more stuff to be added to it.
Absolutely.
So it could be a good foundation for now.
Absolutely. And like that is the main problem. Is this is from a place of selfishness. I always knew it wasn't going to release soon, right? Like, the earliest date I've ever given was like November 2025, and I thought that was unrealistic. My realistic estimation was August, November 2026.
Yeah.
Except I still wanted an announcement. Right, I know, like, you're gonna get hounded for a year for Agrid news, like the seagull meme from Finding Nemo, like news, Classic Plus, news, and I get that's annoying. I understand it. But, like, brother, please. I'm begging for scraps here. What more do I need? Do I need to plead to the ancestors? Spirits above, help me. I am starving, I am parched, the barren heat is ruining me. But no, like, the point is, like, I just wanted a teaser. And, like, they did it after the Direct. They were like, SoonTM. Why couldn't they have just in the Direct have said, and we know you guys want more, or have more questions, but we can't share now. SoonTM. And just moved on to retail. That alone would have been enough. That would have been, like, everybody would have understood. You wouldn't have announced Classic Plus, but we all would have known it was Classic Plus. That would have been enough. And, like, we didn't get that. And, like, that's my thing, is that's where my frustration comes from, is it's hard to be fully hyped about Fresh all over again. Despite all the changes Fresh is getting, that is a topic I'm going to be covering later in the podcast, but my hype is low because I'm more of a Sod Andy and a Plus Andy than I am just a regular Classic Andy. As fun as Hardcore and Fresh is, for me, that's not the direction, that's not the future I want of Classic, if that makes sense.
We all have what we want. I totally get where you're getting at. Like, we all have our wants and needs of what we expected out of certain things, and you can't answer the masses. More people lean towards a certain side than the other. But I agree with you in the sense, it's like, we're sod guys. We really are. Kind of like the meme, we're Costco guys. but we're sod guys.
Yeah.
We loved Season of Discovery, and dude, I'll tell you right now, man, if SOD was booming and SOD was still going, I'd be making SOD content right freaking now, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love Season Discovery. I bring back a lot of the old classics and just like a lot of old style videos I did. I know you would probably do the same, and it would be a fun time talking about SOD. But I just think right now, like, with everything that's going on with just the whole industry of World of Warcraft, with all the announcements and everything that's being discussed, I just think it's a lot, man. It's a lot for SOD right now to hang on. And I mean, and then this all goes back to, like, Fresh, right? It's like Fresh is coming out, and, like, I guess that's a good way, if you want to segue, just like to talk about, like, Fresh coming, and what do you think about Fresh? Do you think it's something that's gonna hold up? Do you feel like it has longevity to it? I mean, there's a lot of stuff, So, like, I really feel like, and even as you as a creator, like, where do you see yourself with Fresh? Like, I have my opinions, but I want I want to see what you have to say about everything about Fresh being announced and your thoughts after it and going forward.
Okay. It's only fair because I made you start first, the first question, so I'll start first this time. Okay.
Get a water if you need to.
No, I'm good. I'm good. My thoughts on Fresh. I think Fresh is much needed, and that the era player base and a lot of people that quit have been clamoring and begging for. I think the release date is too soon. I think the release date directly conflicts with SOD. And I think everything is eating into each other because there's too many releases side by side happening all around the same time. Like it essentially almost feels like a Cataclysm launching in phase 3 kind of situation where both games suffered for it. And but Fresh itself is genuinely a good product. It's genuinely wanted. It was a solid release. The devs did a good job on that, especially with all the changes and all the things they've added. And we'll talk about the changes later because we're just talking about the Fresh itself right now.
Yeah,
I think it was solid. Now, where do I see myself in Fresh? I've already got a community running and playing. We're recruiting. I have essentially 2 communities. One is EU, one is NA. And the EU one is essentially not really fully my community, but I'm just sending all my EU players to this one guild that one of my viewers runs. And then same thing with my NA guild. I'm not really part of it. Both of these, I mean, I am. I'll be playing, but like I'm not really taking any leadership position. I'm just funneling my viewers to NA, EU, have fun in these guilds. If the guilds fail, I guess they fail. It's what it is. If they succeed, they succeed. I'll do my best to support them, but like I'm mostly focusing on hardcore because it can take a lot of time and energy. I'm doing the full roleplay saga and arc. So for me, as great idea as Fresh is, I'll only really get into Fresh if I like die at 60 like 2 or 3 times. And at that point I'm like, I'm done with hardcore. Peace. I'm not doing this. Let's do Fresh instead. And the future. I mean, like I looked at the timelines, I did the math. It looks like Fresh is ending between September and December 2025. And that's cool. That there's logic to that. They said it's an accelerated timeline. Everything like checks out. Nax will come out probably, I want to say maybe October or November, and then probably end February-ish, like 2026. And then we know like then SOD's ending and that leads into something else, so we'll cover that. But like I think it's a very fast thing, which then goes into TBC, and TBC I'm excited for. I'm probably going to put a lot of effort into Fresh. Maybe a week or 2 before Nax, or a week or 2 into Nax. Like I'm not sure when I'm gonna come back, but like I'm gonna come prep and get ready for TBC. And that's my plans for Fresh as a whole. What about you? What are your thoughts on the launch, middle, and the ending of Fresh?
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I've seen some funny comments on this one, and I think I'm a part of the TBC waiting room, which I think, honestly, realistically, if I wasn't playing Fresh, which I am, but I would totally take that approach. I could see myself doing that because TBC is just something we haven't had to experience. It went by so fast, especially during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like it was a memory. Like I don't even remember it. Like it
True.
was like a flash. It was so quick, and then we were into RAF, and then
Mm-hmm.
RAF, in my opinion, was like okay, and then it was like god awful after all the bots that took over that game. But regardless, I think honestly, I've seen a lot of cool posts about people saying that they're really excited about Fresh, and regardless of the naysayers, there's gonna be a lot of naysayers that even come in the comment section here below too. I get it that they're annoyed about Fresh and the abandonment of SOD, and don't get me wrong, I understand, but SOD is still going. Even Agron has posted this on Twitter. No matter what you're seeing online, and people trying to pressure each other into saying what game is dying or what game is doing this, guys, don't listen to any of that. Let's be real here
Bingo.
for a second. Let me bring you down to earth. You're too high up in the sky right now. You're going out to the atmosphere. Let me bring you down to earth. Play the version you want to play. Have fun with it. Raid log, sweat, do whatever you want, speed run, it doesn't matter. Play the version that you're enjoying and have fun with that. Do not listen to any naysayers that are saying that you can't enjoy any version of WoW currently right now, because all versions of WoW are viable to play, including Kata, even though I think Kata is a shit show. I personally don't like Kata. But regardless of that, to each his own. You could still play Kata. No one's saying that. But what I'm getting at is that, Fresh is something that people are looking forward to. A lot of, people that I've seen even that are just like, they didn't have the opportunity to play the game for Season of Discovery. Maybe some of them are veterans, or just people that are coming back home finally, or they're older and more mature. You got to remember too, a lot of the fresh community, a lot of them, and it's no disrespect, is a lot of older folks. It's a lot of older individuals who didn't have the time to really get the moments to play, Season of Discovery, or maybe they did, but they just couldn't go through all the phases because they were busy, and this gives them an opportunity to really just enjoy Fresh with their buds and have a good time, drink a couple beers, do a couple dungeons. What's wrong with that? I think that's a pretty chill experience if you ask me, guys, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's pretty dope. So honestly, I think Fresh is a W. Do I think it was too early? Yes, I do think it was too early. I can agree with that, because for solid players that still enjoy classic leveling, we can feel that burnout for sure. Like that is like, and especially with classic, it's that is different from what SOD is with the increased XP gains and all that stuff. It is a much longer and daunting process, but it's a different style of a game. So I really feel like just don't look at it from a negative standpoint. Look at it from the way that you just want to, if you have a group of friends that are on board with it, go on board with it. Maybe you have fun. Maybe you never know. Maybe you try a class you never played before, and you just, make the best out of it. And who says you need to play all the way to pass MC or BWL or AQ or NAX? Play as long as you want. I think it's just there for people to enjoy. Eventually, it will have its time when it is, all over. And the next thing will come out, which hopefully it has a plus sign at the end, but
Absolutely.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm already scheduled for a coma when AQ comes out. I booked it and everything. I just gotta go.
Oh, shit. You're scheduled for a coma, dude. He's like, I'm scheduled to get packed, bro. I'm scheduled for.
Yeah.
It's over for me, bro. Put me in the sands of.
Yeah, just like bury me.
In the sands of AQ, dude.
Just that one Master Chief scene. Wake me
Yeah.
when you need me.
Oh, shit, dude. I feel like I'm driving into Classic Plus like Dom from the end of Gears of War, where just like, Maria, take me. I just blow up into combustion.
Just me and you like driving side by side, like fucking end of fucking Fast and Furious, like what is it, 9, 10? Just be like, one last ride home, and like me just veering off, like I'm gone, and you're just
it's the sunset. Hopefully to better days.
Yeah.
But it's true though. Like honestly, man, like I'm just at the end of this, I think, all versions of WoW are great. Fresh. Let's get it going. The hell with it. I'm looking forward to it. And one thing I didn't even ask you, if you're playing Fresh, right? Because I know you're doing hardcore too. What character are you playing? Like what are you gonna play this time around? Because me personally, I'm going because I'm I think we're
all Horde, yeah.
Playing with you're all Horde, right? With everything.
Yeah, I'm. Ooh, for me, I don't want to be a warrior again. I don't want to do Druid again. I'm gonna be an in-hand shaman, and fuck about. I am going to play something that is objectively dog shit in PvE. I am literally there to get the scrap pieces of mail, shaman tier, that nobody, and not even that, because that's for resto shamans. That's not for me. I'm there to literally be like a loot goblin, being like, I dig the trash, give me trash. Nom 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 nom. He has a Red Paladin experience in original class, like I'm sure you remember. You'd be like, oh god, you give weapon to me? I'm grateful, Red Pally. Thank you, Massa.
Dude, it's always Rep Pally proud, bro. Like, listen, I don't care. Even in classic, bro, you're gonna just get if I did ally, which I probably won't because I'll be playing with Hammer on Fresh. I'm going rogue, man. I'm going rogue.
I'm sick of like asking for loot and being told you'd be happy you're even in this raid.
Yep. I'm going full undead rogue, bro, and I'm going balls to the wall. It's either undead rogue or orc rogue. We'll see what happens.
I might even do hunter. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have fun. I don't know what I'm doing.
Hunter could be fun too. Yeah, I mean, dude, there's tons of good options. I mean, like this time around, like I just want to play a different class. Like I adopted everything in SOD with the Paladin. I loved it. I'm still all for it. But come Fresh. Who's to say I can't do both, both ally and horde. I'll probably be playing a lot, but the first thing starting off is definitely rogue for me, for sure.
And plus with dual spec, actually no, I am doing shaman because dual spec. I can be a healer and a DPS.
Oh yeah, true. That is true. But let us save that conversation for the changes because there's a big thing to come with that.
True, that is fair. But what about dude? I mean, like, be honest. Out of 10, 1 to 10,
Mhm.
1 being how dare you ask me
Yeah.
that, and 10 being this is peak. How excited are you for Fresh?
Hmm. See, so this is where it comes where it's a person to person basis, right? Like for me personally, I'm excited for it only because I never truly got to level Horde in Classic from 1 to 60 and go through MC, BWL, and do everything on Horde
Okay.
through it. So I did it through the end of TBC going into all the way through RAF. RAF, I experienced that, right? But I didn't get to experience it in Classic. So for Horde, I'm actually excited for it. I would give it about a 7, an average. A 7 because it's a safe number. I feel like I because I don't know what to expect. Obviously, where the guild goes, how far we actually take this, how serious we are, like how serious Hammer is as well about actually pushing. Like because like I know how I am. Like if I don't know a character, I go into the lab and I start learning the ins and outs to fucking min max that character. That's just the type of person I am.
Right.
But I like learning in class, you know. But I'm sure another person might say honestly 0, or another person might say honestly 10 because this is their first time playing WoW in a long time and it's given them an opportunity to play with their friends they haven't played with in years. So I will say 7. But what would you say, Evan? Personally, a 1 out of 10 for the guy that that doesn't want Fresh right now.
So for me, I'm gonna give you two opinions. There's the objective one, which I think is like a 8 out of 7.5, 8 out of 10, where the average player is kind of happy, not counting the sod players who kind of feel like this is gonna kill the game mode. Maybe for me
Yeah.
personally, it's like a 4.5, 5 out of 10. Like 1 to 60 in previous grinding is a 10 out of 10.
Mm,
MC onwards, like 3 out of 10. Like I'm not even gonna lie, like that first like 45 days of fresh of classic is peak content, top tier,
mm,
some of the funnest
yeah.
content you can imagine. When the raid logging and just the raiding sets in, I'm out. I'm not doing MC. I'm not doing Blackwing Lair. I'm not gonna do AQ. I'll be back for Nax and TBC, but like I think I'll do maybe 1 or 2 MCs just for some footage,
Yeah, yeah.
and then like grab some gear. Maybe be like, "Huzzah, I have Sulfuran. Amazing. Are you gonna
Yeah.
craft it? Oh, of course not.
Mm,
But just more of a just like have a good time, just screw about kind of situation. So that is my opinion on it because I do think it's a good game mode. It's just I'm sick and tired of Ragnaros's big red bald ass. Like I can't do this no more. Like
yeah,
Rag, I'm not
Ragnar
happy to see you. I need to get a restraining order against him. Leave me alone.
Bro, I did that boss so many times, like just expecting the eye to drop to only see it one time. Never got it. Never got it.
Too soon, Major Domo.
Oh, I'm so tired of it.
I can't.
Him and Domo's bitch ass. Get them all out of there, bro. I don't want to see none of those balls. Listen, at the end of the day, we would see him again come fresh. Like I'll do it, obviously. But I do agree. I think the one strongest thing is like what you mentioned too is that I just feel like it was so soon for SOD players,
Hmm?
not for players that didn't play SOD. If you didn't play SOD, and obviously you are not concurrently still playing SOD, this doesn't matter to you, right? But for SOD players, you have to understand that this was like, damn, bro. Instead of focusing on the version of the game that we were enjoying and loving, improving, and doing other things with this game, which I'm not saying that they're not, but instead of really putting all gas, no brakes onto SOD, there's just so much other things, external things happening on the outside, which is like, man, dude, it's like at this point, some people are even questioning themselves, is SOD even worth sticking around and playing and even investing the time with their guilds, continue to raid locking BWL, doing more ZGs, farming, Scarab Lord right now. People are questioning a lot right now whether it's worth staying. And I need to ask you because I think it's a good way to segue into the next subject about like SOD, ending around April and June, right? And I am curious about your thoughts. I mean, unless you want me to go first, up to you. But
No, I mean
I
I'm
would,
down. I'm down
yeah,
to go first. And
yeah. I'm curious about your thoughts on this. What
so
do you think about Sonic?
season of discoveries, in my opinion, I know I'm gonna get a lot of haters in the comment because every time I say I like Sod, like how could you? There's so many changes. The changes happen. I'd be like, that's why I like it. The changes is the reason I like it. And not every change. I gotta clarify. There was quite a few changes I did not like, but there was a lot of changes I did. And SOD as a whole was a great experience that got progressively less good, with highlights in each phase. And the reason for that is what I loved most about SOD was the plus factors. And the less plus factors I did and the more SOM factors I did, the less I was excited and happy for SOD's future. SOD was by no means a bad experience, and I'm still excited for it. I can't wait to come back for Phase 7. I'm skipping Phase 6. Like, my issue with Phase 6 is no matter what the devs do, I despise AQ. I do not like AQ as an experience.
Yeah, it's a personal choice.
It is a place I objectively abhor. God awful place.
Yeah.
Might that and delete it from the game. But Nax, I'm super excited about. I'm gonna come back for Nax, Deadwind Pass, not Stratholm, the Scarlet Crusade, Mega Dungeon instance, whatever it is. Really hyped to enjoy all that, and it's gonna be really sick. And then, like you said, based on our note, April, June is when Phase 7 ends, and that's when that supposed mystery announcement is, which is what I think is Classic Plus. But we'll talk about that as soon as we're done with the SOD segment. And I think SOD is a great experiment, a great beta, a great testing ground that sadly did not get enough materials to test because I feel like the devs played it safe after Incursions in Phase 3. I feel like they should have absolutely been testing more content, arenas, new BGs, random ass class changes. Like they should have honestly like just added like 10 new dungeons, just fully instance out on places, just go new zones in them. They should have just done so many more things. And it doesn't matter if it was a mid experience, it would have been a testing ground as you play receptions to different things. They should have been testing more. Because what they did add, Demonfall Canyons, for example, instance world bosses, a lot of the runes are really solid, but they should be baked in. They should remove runes and bake those changes into the classes. So you, from level 1, when you level up, you can just go unlock the skill straight from the class trainer.
Yeah.
Or bake it right into talent. And like they should have essentially kept expanding the plus and less of the SOM. Because honestly, I think MC and Black Melee would have been just fine without any real changes. Give all the bosses an extra 20% damage, 20% health, tweak them a little bit. But nobody really went into SOD to play harder or more interesting quotation marks MC, Black Melee, AQ, and NAC. They went into SOD to test new raids like BFD, like Noma, like and honestly, even Sunken Temple. New bosses, new things, new mechanics, new things that were essentially different from what we originally had is what I wanted from SOD. So SOD was a 10 out of 10 at the beginning, and it's now like a 6.5 out of 10. It's still good. Like the Phase 5 like class item quest lines are insanely high quality. Like the dev team cooked with that. I wanted more of that. I don't care about the affix system, all this new tier and itemization. I care more about them adding new content, new things to experience. At least that's my opinion. What about you, Tello? How are you feeling about SOD?
I mean, besides it being packed in a suitcase, I think it's alright. I think it's alright. I mean, like, just in general, I think, obviously a lot of the energy and hype for it's gone, but I do think it has a really consistent player base where people enjoy the game. And I think, you're absolutely right. I mean, honestly, you know, BFD was so good, bro.
Oh,
I think people don't realize how good that was. If you didn't have like a fun 10 man to experience it with, it was a blast playing with my friends during phase 1. And the people I got to meet and just enjoy the game with and really just go haywire in Ashenville, and
absolutely.
seeing the events for the very first time and seeing the Horde and Ally both collide on the road and everyone figuring out like the meta of things, what to do, and the small little 1v1s and duels going on. Things weren't too haywire or crazy yet. Everything felt pretty solid. Besides some PvP things were a little crazy, the Hunter Scorpions were, and the
Mm-hmm.
tanks from Hunters were nuts. And obviously there were some issues with the priests, like with their the homunculi, right?
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, It was, for the most part, it was a really special time, and you even knew from themselves, from Blizzard, they were announcing their player base numbers. You knew they were very happy about this too,
Yeah.
which is a rare thing for Blizzard to do. And Phase Two, believe it or not, I enjoyed Phase Two. Believe it or not, like I actually enjoyed going through Nomer. And it was tough, but like man, I had fun with it because of the teleporters. It made it much easier to just go through in and out of bosses and go where you want. And especially if you had a rogue with you, a rogue can, sneak past and activate the teleporter very early on, and it can make it really easy. And there were some cool little tricks about Nomer that I really enjoyed. And even though it was a headache for melee early on, phase one, range had issues with Kelris, but it was fine, like overall though, I I think that's what made Assad really special. It was just like people just figuring shit out. And then they involved, had the quest lines or the void touch gear. I remember that too. And just everything that was occurring with the game. And honestly, I just thought it was a good time. Obviously, stuff happened in phase three. We all know that already. No need to, reiterate it. But as we are from phase four and phase five, and then obviously the incursions and all that other stuff, at least fast forward to now, I genuinely think people are just they're having the best experience as they can with the game. Nothing wrong with that. I know it will come to an end eventually, and what I can say is that I got to have a great time with Season of Discovery. I definitely am on the boat with you about whether I'm gonna play AQ or not. I might dabble with it. Maybe like do a raid or so, a couple raids, maybe, try to go for a couple pieces. Maybe, not sure. That's a big underline maybe. But the next phase after, 100% I'll do next. Yeah, because I just like next. So
Mm.
and I just look forward to like doing the SM stuff and the Deadwind Pass, go there and just like really visit a lot of stuff that I want to try out and see what else they have in store. Maybe they're not showing us, but not too really crazy about AQ, obviously. But I mean, at the end of the day, people are gonna like it, whether we like it or don't. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure maybe that's their favorite phase. Good for you. It's just me personally, I feel like it was, historically time where everybody just starts to kind of leave the game for good reason. It's just a valid reason. There's nothing really else to say, but besides that, it's just AQ again.
It's also incredibly overtuned. I don't know if you've been on the PTR, but that many guilds are not clearing. They're not doing
Oh,
hard
oh
mode
yeah,
AQ. It's not happening.
yeah, and my thing is like, and I'll comment on that real quick, just because that's a great point you brought up. I said it again earlier. I'll say it again from I said it a lot past podcast, because I don't care if I sound like a broken machine on this. Season of Discovery is not meant to be hard. And like
Mm-hmm.
you say this too. Hard does not equal fun. I don't know where the developers are getting this idea where they feel like they have to make some retail level challenge or some type of actual super hard challenge to have the game just be fun. Like, I'm not saying everyone is going to be clearing the content, right? There has to be some type of special notoriety to a percentage of players that complete the content. I get that. But to make it feel like there is a border of entry and people need to bring their 6 points to a DMV in order to be investigated to come to this raid when it's just classic is insane. It's just like when it's just classic, like, and
Yeah.
especially sod when we are doing Ulduar levels of damage. You know what I mean? So I just think it's a little bit much. I think, it also, from the devs doing this, it's their responsibility, but also their fault for creating the gatekeeping that happens on SOD because of them. They create it from their point because it comes from them at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it comes from them. It stems all the way from, the source. The player base then sees it. They pick it up, put the pieces together. Then the player base that is not a part of the top percent, they wonder what's going on, why they can't join raids, and then the meta players, people who are in those guilds, there's people out there that are like that. Let's be real, where they won't invite you if you're a gray or whatever parser, and that's where the gatekeeping comes. But where does it come from? It comes from the source. It gets created from the devs. If they don't make the changes, then the top percentage will never change it, and it's just the way it is. Now, not saying it's all the devs' fault.
Mm-hmm.
Community is for fault too. I'm not going to say that, but that's how I feel personally.
I
People may
agree.
disagree. It's
No,
fine.
I agree on the hard modes. Hard is not necessarily fun. I don't even think hard rate should be a thing. But I do want to defend the devs on one thing. I don't even think the devs realize how dog shit the player base can be. Because
True. Yeah.
BFD was a very, very, very easy raid. incredibly low ceiling to entry. And I'm not gonna lie, I do not think 75% of the player base is disabled, but some people genuinely had no virtue or right to have been in a raid. And like, some people are just bad, and I don't even know how to describe that without being elite, but like, to pass below a 30, you have to be dead for the most part. Like, you started doing damage and then you died. Like, you started doing damage and you died like 30 seconds in, 15 seconds, 20 seconds in, and then you get like a 27 or 25 or like 18, right? There are people that live the entire time, all 7 bosses, getting graves on all 7 bosses. Doing and it's like, how is that humanely possible? So I don't want to blame the devs for people, and I don't want to blame the sweaties for being sweaty, because the sweaties do want to elevate regular players into filling their ranks. When a person bleeds out and like quits or whatever, you want to... True. Apologies. You want to fill in. But there's a player-based problem on Classic where people are so casual that making the raid difficult actually hurt Classic harder, because Classic was designed with carrying people in mind. And when you remove the ability to carry people, it's unclearable content. Think about every time you've played vanilla or private or whatever, if you don't add carry ability, shit gets hard. You need to be able to carry people.
Yeah.
And you can't. In AQ, you're not going to be able to carry people. The best skills might be able to, but like, dude, man, no, it's AQ 40 hard mode is not doable. No, definitely not doable.
People are going to...
Have you seen Twin Emps of Cthulhu?
Yeah, I've heard nothing but rumors, and it sounds daunting already. And like, if it's making it out to be what these people are claiming, these creators are claiming, and obviously seeing some live streams, of course, of watching, other people do the PTR. I'm telling you right now, like, you're gonna hit that wall, and some of you guys, if you're hardcore and you have a really good guild and you're all about progression, you will get through it. There might be a wipe or so, maybe a couple more. You are granted a lot of wipes, from what I heard, but you're gonna face that wall, and then you're gonna have to ask yourself the question: can you see yourselves doing that every week, every reset?
And that's the thing with it, is like, I said this early as well, during Bob's podcast, but I almost said Pop's podcast, but on
that's
Bob's
how you know
podcast,
Evan's fried from Classic Plus, and he's just fried in general.
Yeah, it's the issue with like hard modes is you can't add a hard mode and make it optional, because by virtue of the hard mode being there, if you're not doing it, you're not good. Player mentality isn't about we'll just do the easy mode. Nobody wants to do the easy mode. Nobody wants to be known as the guy in the shitter guild that can only do easy mode. It makes you look bad and feel bad. And player perception is more important than reality. The logical thing here would be like, well, who gives a shit what other people think? I don't. Fuck other people. You know how many hate comments I get? I will say the only thing that does bother me is when you make a hate comment and you didn't even watch the video, so your hate comment's low quality. Nah. If you give me a good hate quality, if you give me a good hate comment, I'll pin that shit. Yeah, I'll pin that shit. I also give everybody 1 hate comment per video. If you do 2 on a video, it's acceptable. But if you do like 3+ comments on a video, I'll shadow ban you. Mainly because the people that do 3 hate comments and do like the lowest quality are like...
Oh yeah, dude. Like, a lot of these people who leave negative comments, bro, like, dude, they get shadow banned so fast. They think they're doing something that none of their stuff gets seen by anybody else. Like, any people that leave crazy comments, you just get...
you leave a good hate comment, I'll leave that shit up. I'll heart it, I'll pin it. If it's a good you hate me professionally, I'll respect the hustle. I respect that. A professional hate comment, I got a couple of dedicated haters. They actually do subscribe to me. They hate on every video. And sometimes I'll watch a video and be like, can't hate on this one. And I'll be like, you're a respectable hater. You agreed with my opinion, so you wait till the next one to hate. But no, like, if you're not a good hater, like, I'll just shout about you. Just come on, like, step your game up. Which is, sorry, getting back to what I was saying, I got off topic, is people aren't going to do the less hard mode because of mental prestige. No one's going to willingly do the worst raid mode. Even with Blackwing there, everybody was doing black difficulty, not because they had to, because if you weren't doing it, you couldn't pass, and if you weren't passing, you couldn't get into pugs, or you couldn't get a new guild. People have that mental like thing of like, I have no choice but to do that, which is the problem of the player base. It's a player base problem. I think Asmund said this, but it was like, by virtue of adding a new difficulty, you make the game pointlessly hard. Whether it's necessary or not is irrelevant. People strive for the harder game mode, and if you're not doing it, you're not good.
He's absolutely right. I can't disagree with that whatsoever.
Like, looking for raid being in game doesn't make the game better. It just means more people can do it. But no one, you do a normal, not one single person gives a fuck. You may have well been doing looking for raid.
This is the same mentality in retail. If you're not doing Mythic Plus, no one cares if you cleared Heroic. No one cares if you did normal. They care if you're doing the highest version of Mythic Plus possible in every seasonal the season for the dungeons that they have. And if you cleared Mythic New Rubar Palace, they don't care about if you're doing Heroics. They want to see you raid Mythic track gear. Like, and that's where I feel like, unfortunately, that mentality got adopted into the classic scene, and a lot of people have been poisoned and brainwashed to feel like that now. And it's no longer an MMO you get to experience; it's an MMO that you have to have experience.
Exactly.
If you don't, and it's like, if you don't have the experience, you're not coming to this raid. You're not allowed to be a part of this. We saw your parses online. We see your gear, like, and there's several add-ons and tools, and it just became a whole, like, once again, like I said earlier, like, you got your 6 points to come into the the DMV. If you don't, go back home.
I actually, it's really solid that you said that, because I actually, one of the lines in my video coming out tomorrow, it's a nostalgia video, is Classic was always been about the journey and having a journey worth remembering, and people have forgotten that. They're no longer having a journey. They're getting on the escalator to the end game to end the game as fast as humanly possible. And that's not Classic. But that is the modern audience. I'm not even trying to be deep. It's just sadly what the fuck it is.
He's spitting right now. No, he's spitting right now. He really is.
Well, let's you know what? Let's just move on from the slight level of depression. Let's talk about the mystery announcement, SoonTM after Phase 7. And being honest, what are your thoughts on that? I'll let you go first this time.
I mean, after Phase 7 of what, SOD?
SOD, yeah.
I mean, maybe a continuous roadmap for Season Discovery that we don't know about that might have actual further progression after Phase 7, maybe goes up to Phase 10, possibly, and they announce actual testing environments with old assets that they really want to try for SOD, and then boom, they eventually touch it for, Classic Plus a year or two from now, whenever it is, and there you go. They finally come up with some ideas. But besides, if it's not anything in regards of a continuation of SOD, maybe it is new versions of Classic that we've never seen before that are, like kind of how they did with Mop Remix. Maybe they do some type of Classic remix style thing. I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, and this is like, I'm always gonna keep it real with you. I genuinely have no idea what Blizzard is doing after the Phase 7 of SOD. I don't think anyone knows. I think we're all the creators you see that claim that they do know what they're doing 100%, like Eben. Besides Eben, if it's not Eben Hart's cap, all right? Remember that. If it's not Eben Hart's cap. But I'm be honest with you, it's all BS. But we will see what happens at the end of the day. I hope it is something awesome. But in reality, if it has nothing to do with Classic, if it has nothing to do with SOD, then maybe it's a potential announcement of further discussion with what they're doing with Classic Fresh, with like the whole classic with like TBC and RAF, and maybe they finally announced the progressional servers where basically your character can stay on all servers no matter what, and this is the final time we'll ever do classic servers again. But these servers are dedicated and will always be supported online by Blizzard, so you could keep your character on RAF, You can also progress your character on TBC. He can be copied there, and he could stays on Classic as well, and then you can always progress no matter what. And then boom, that's their mystery announcement. But to be honest, what if the mystery announcement is nothing related to anything we're talking about? What if it's something with another expansion? I mean, I to be honest, once again, I'm genuinely lost on this one. I haven't felt like I found a good rhythm of what they're going to be doing for like quite some time now. What are your thoughts like on the mystery announcement? Do you have a general idea of what's going on?
So we talked about the dates earlier. Between September and December, Fresh is ending. So that would put
Yeah,
TBC's release at either like December, late November, or
yeah,
Nax is ending at. I'm not sure if Nax was meant to release late autumn, but that's what the roadmap says ending. So I don't know. But we're just gonna go with the ending. Let's say Nax ends in late November, which would give us like a month or so before TBC because of pre-patch and all that.
true.
And then that would essentially mean that around November, let's just say BlizzCon happens or XCon. SARD ends in April to June of 2025 as well. So both of these game modes for Classic are over.
Mhm.
And I feel like at the end of SARD, they're going to announce Classic Plus in the sense that the future of Classic is coming. Wait till the end of Fresh as like an official confirmation, like the timeline, the countdown begins now. And they do like a countdown on like their website or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, or they just give the release date for BlizzCon 2025 or something. And then,
Maybe. Yeah.
Classic Fresh ends just before BlizzCon 2025. And then at BlizzCon, they announce, for those of you that want to go to TBC, you can. For the SARD and Fresh players, you can go to Era. We're condensing it all down to one Era server PvP, one Era server PvE, no RP, no nothing, and a singular hardcore. And Classic Plus is coming August next year. So enjoy the Era servers for a little bit. Do this, play some TBC. That's gonna last about 12 months as well. So it'll, Sunwell will be progressing when this launches. So
Yeah.
and Classic Plus is happening, November next year. So and then that's it. All the Classic players are essentially funneled straight into it. You can either stay on Era or you play Classic Plus. And realistically, it's a big announcement because it clearly shows that, because based on the wording of like, we know not everything you wanted to get announced got announced, but SoonTM.
Yeah.
What else would people ask for? The only thing other people asked for was like progressive realms for Wrath and all repeating constantly, and Classic Plus.
Yeah.
And if they announce TBC, we know we're clearly getting Wrath at some point afterwards. So that's not really the big announcement. So what other thing did everybody clamor for that we didn't get? Classic Plus. I think that SoonTM is just Classic Plus. My issue is I don't want to wait till June next year to get an announcement. Agron, interview me right now. Get an interview. I got questions for you, Agron. I got questions, Agron.
Referee. The special guest.
Agron, let me in.
Please.
Open
the door. Open the door. That's where Evan is right now, man. I mean, no, I get you, dude. I mean, listen, I also think too. Let's be honest, man. And I think obviously, it's not really something that's like really hiding. I think it's like the elephant in the room. I mean, we're also like just burnt out, man. We're
Yeah.
also just straight up just burnt out on like when things are gonna happen and when it's not gonna happen. And that's not to say that there's any hate towards Blizzard for that or the community or anything. It's just that we're really excited as WoW creators, people that love doing this stuff for you guys, and we look forward to like what's in the future and being very optimistic about stuff. And sometimes that optimism can lead to us being disappointed, and that's something that's on me or Evan, right? But we're really looking forward to the future of like seeing the full version of classic WoW come to life like it's never been seen before, with a lot of the assets and the things that were in the old data, in the old logs, come to life finally, like for classic, not anything else. And I do think honestly, at the end of the day, was it realistic that we were going to get some type of announcement at the direct? Let's be honest with ourselves.
It was. Phil Spencer personally delayed it.
let's be honest with ourselves. Come on, Evan. Evan.
No,
Welcome
it
to
was
the
meant to be announced, Tello. They took it away from us. Look at the roadmap for SOD at the end. No. Look at the end. Why was there such a massive gap? The roadmap got leaked hours before. Listen, no. The roadmap got leaked hours before. It means they did a last minute change because something got shifted away.
Yeah, you know what got shifted away? Classic Fresh.
No, listen.
They 11/21, baby.
They had to scrap the roadmap for SOD for Classic Plus because somebody above said we gotta move it. Hello, I'm not insane.
How long have you been drinking?
I don't drink. I just drink Coke Zero.
And
I'm actually
where's
sober.
the large Dr. Pepper bottle?
I haven't bought one in a while.
Good. But I'm not gonna lie, it's okay. Listen, comment below. Hashtag Evan is drunk. It's fine. We understand.
Why are you creating a new fucking hashtag?
What? We understand it. It's okay. As fans of Evan Hart, we all get it. He had the conspiracy, the whiteboard. Maybe turn the whiteboard to the other side. The next Classic Plus is coming in a couple months. Listen, at the end of the day, memes aside, I get where Evan's getting at, and I don't know why I'm holding the microphone like a broadcaster. But hey, maybe this is the new
live from the scene. Local man loses his mind
over the Warcraft Direct. The toaster oven was not near the bathtub this time around. But besides that, what I'm getting at is like, I feel like, listen, I understand your pain and frustration. I understand mine as well. It's just obvious, we were just hyped, and at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong that you can ask for, content creation aside, just us as players. We care we care about the damn game, man. We love the game, and I'd play WoW off stream. I don't even care about even just streaming. Like, I enjoy WoW, just playing it and having fun in the world, and just to see that the world gets expanded one day is all that we can really hope for. And talking about expansion and seeing changes though, and like different things, I think we got to talk about it. Classic Fresh and all the stuff that's going on right now, because this is purely, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I know how the classic Andys are, me being one. I know how the classic Andys are. And just to see their reaction to, oh, no changes. Classic's back. We're hyped. And then we're gonna add, the thing that like you liked from SOD. We're gonna put that in there. Well, there's another thing we're gonna add. We're gonna put that in there. As a matter of fact, as of today, we're gonna also balance the layering system because we liked it in SOD. We're gonna put that in there. So let me ask you, Evan. Hashtag no changes.
I have always been an advocate for the error players to keep their error servers.
Yeah.
But nobody said that Classic Fresh was error. The devs never promised that. Now, the devs did say they wanted to stay true to the Classic experience, but technically TBC was true to the Classic experience because TBC was finishing Classic. Dun, dun, dun.
Wow.
Now, the thing I will give the devs is they've done very tasteful changes. They didn't really balance classes. They fixed layering. They added Chrono Boon. They added, for example, dual spec. And a few other changes. If I bring them all up real quick, because at this point there now is several changes. My WoW head is not loading, so just give me a second. But like it's War Mode style PvP, dual spec, instant mail, no debuff limit. What else is there? I think there's a few things I'm missing, but like it's essentially the only changes they've done is tasteful, tactful changes. And I still have, so the arrow player base is kind of divided now, because half the arrow player base is like, yeah, this is kind of what I wanted from Classic Plus anyways. Classic Plus wasn't meant to touch the classes, just add new content and new tiers, but leave this the same. A couple of quality of life changes, this is fine. The other half of the arrow player base is like, no, how dare you touch my game? I don't want quality of life. What do you mean? Dual spec? You meant to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Instant mail? Just be a man and wait 1 hour.
That's what we have alts for.
Keep off limits? I don't want Shadow Priest to have fun.
Listen, you're gonna get a lot of hate for this one. I see.
But no, because the issue is half the Era player base actually likes these changes because they're tasteful. The other half are being stubborn for no reason. Era isn't changing. Fresh getting quality of life changes that are actually positive is a good thing. They're not breaking the game. They're not doing any soft balancing. They're not doing class balancing. Sure, the one thing I will say that is not very classic being one ginormous 1 million people on one layer server. Well, not one layer, but one server with 10 million layers. Not really classic. But like, not counting that, most of these other changes are very in line with classic. Yeah. So I'm not actually against. I will say, yeah, half the classic player base is going to be in the comments down below going, unsubbed, disliked, dedicated hater incoming. And I'm going to be like, cool. So anyways, brother, I'm a Classic Plus creator. What do you think I'm going to be advocating for? You seen my channel?
True.
But my content's Classic Plus. Era doesn't need any changes. Don't touch Era. You know what? In fact, take Corona Boon away from them.
I'm sure. Listen, at the end of the day, like, to be honest with you, I'm sure they, if you just gave them nothing, no changes whatsoever, that's fine. That's what they want. Then, sure. I'll listen. At the end of the day, we're not the ones changing this shit. This is Blizzard doing this. We have no power there. They're doing all these changes, all this stuff. That's on them. Once again. So I'm just amused by it more than anything because I think it's funny. I think it's funny that all this stuff is happening. What, like no changes in Classic Fresh?
What do you think about all the changes so far? What do you think about changes?
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think it's funny as shit seeing people mauled online and seeing old boomers get pissed off that their game is getting so called ruined because of a couple binary adjustments. I don't think this is really affecting the game whatsoever from a class level, from a gameplay level, where it is a drastic major change and it leads to the thing of, oh, we're out of here, no more. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did I agree? I'm looking on Wowhead. One guy typed, dual spec is a bit much. Making players more versatile further makes people less dependent on each other, slowly tearing apart reward and collaboration. Super OP in raids too. Making the respec free or less expensive would have been better in my opinion. And then one guy quotes him going, keep this man away from the dev team.
Yeah, dude, this is like insane, bro. Like I'm even like I'm looking at some of these comments right now. This one dude's like, dual spec is fine, but back end layering priorities are a step too far. Laugh my ass off. Another person is saying, stop the changes already. We got more important QOLs. Like, bro, like, dude,
one
this
guy
is their
typed,
game.
Finally, Pallies can have 2 holy specs.
True. Double holy paladin. I mean, dude, I just listen, man. Here's the thing, bro. If you guys want original, like no changes whatsoever, nothing, you're playing Era already. Play Era.
Absolutely.
You're playing Era. How much more like? I think some of these people, and I'm going to be honest with you. And listen, you guys let me know in the comments below. But I think some of you guys want to play like original vanilla, like bare bones vanilla, when things and the. No, I genuinely think that's what they want at this point. If you want to just play a bare bones, but find a private bare bone vanilla server, like the first patch ever, and play that where the trees are all over the place, warriors are shit, paladins are fucking all over the place as well. Like, look at those talent systems. Play that. If that's what you want to play, play that. And just stop talking about everything else going on with Classic. We're saying, they're ruining the game. I don't think these things are necessarily ruining the game whatsoever, and it's not going to make a diff. It's not going to make a difference when you're 3 months in and the game is back down and declined anyways. And there's no more hype into it. Let's be factual for a second. After MC, and some people realize they're only getting 2 pieces of loot from each boss in a 40-man raid, and you're going to be waiting to get loot forever. And then there's going to come to the point where the hype of that game is dead, and then people are going to leave that game to go on to the next version of WoW that's the next best thing. Then they're going to be asking for bring fresh again. It's like the endless vicious cycle repeats. It's like, dude, there it is for you. Enjoy it. they're making these small incremental changes. Now, if anything crazy comes, if anything insane comes, where they're actually editing talents and all this other stuff, then that's not classic whatsoever. That's no longer fresh. That's something we can arguably discuss. But these things are minor. These things are minor. I'm sorry. I don't see why people like to bitch about this stuff when classic era is already there.
So
Sorry.
I do want to say two things. First thing is, I want to say, like you're saying, to all the people that want like full rough, like masochistic classic. Has anybody actually played 1.0? It was not great. 1.0 was like, what the fuck is happening? The amount of changes they've done in 1.0 and 1.3 is pretty high. But aside from that, the other thing I want to say is, now this is controversial, but hear me out. What if they did mild class balancing? Very minimal, but like, for example, what if they added a taunt to Paladin? No other changes, the taunt to Prot Paladin. Shadow Priest, remove the 90% of the threat. Don't change the damage. Just remove the threat from their ability so they can actually pump. Boomkins, give them like 75% less mana for Wrath. Like mana cost. And like Retribution, Ret needs a lot of changes to make it work. I'm not gonna lie to you. Ret and Enhancement and Ally, it's a bit hard to tweak those.
Because they're too good on one side of the realm.
Yeah, so whereas like doing these changes for like Shadow Priest, that doesn't make Shadow Priest stronger. Doesn't make Paladin stronger. Doesn't make Boomkin stronger in PvE or PvP.
Yeah.
But it makes them viable in PvE. What if they did very, very minimal changes? Like class balancing to the level that it's a viable spec to bring. Not great, but you can bring it now. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. And listen, like, I want to agree with you. Like, me and you, I want to agree with you. Like, I genuinely do, because I know that the future of fixing the game from a class standpoint is looking at the talents themselves. I've been saying this forever, and I'll probably always continuously say it, because I genuinely believe that's what you do to make minor, incremental, small changes to talents that were completely useless and can be something that does something in the future of Classic Plus. However, if you open up that can of worms, the reason why I'm going to disagree with you is because if you open up that can of worms, for a lot of haters in the comments below and the haters worldwide, they will riot on the web because of that. The from Discords to threads to Twitters, everywhere, they will riot about that, because you are now opening the can of worms where you're saying this vanilla is not my vanilla. This classic is not my classic. This is not the true. This is not the true experience, because you are changing what the original OG devs did and put in there. Maybe it's not what they wanted to do necessarily all the way through, and maybe they faced some blockades, but that's what the original game was for a lot of people for a long time. And
but
that's where I could see the
if you want to stick with original, how dare you enjoy Chrono?
And here's the thing, I don't disagree.
I'm just saying, like, you either get some changes or no changes, and like I know some people would prefer no changes, but I think the majority would like #very minor changes.
Yeah, and here's the thing, I don't think very small QOL changes are bad, but I think there is a portion of people that don't give a shit about any of these changes or any of these posts. They're just gonna play the game regardless. There's some that take this to heart and feel like their WoW's ruined for some reason. These are, I don't know what's wrong with these people, but it is what it is. And there are some people that feel like this is the greatest thing ever for Classic, and they actually enjoy going through the notes, and they're looking forward to playing Classic more than ever. So at the end of the day, can't please the masses, but I do find it funny, and I do find it hypocritical on what people like and don't like for what they consider what is classic to them, and what's the changes that are allowed and not allowed, and what they consider their vanilla or their classic, when it's small minor tweaks and adjustments being made. I just think it's funny when you see how these people react. And honestly, to the people who are reacting like this, please keep shit talking more online. This shit is funny, dude. I love it. I love seeing you guys go at it back and forth on what your version of vanilla is, because at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you right now, and I'll say with this, The door has already been cracked open, and the door is about to be wide opened here soon. You think this is the final
yeah.
change? I don't think it is. This is not the final change for Classic Fresh. I'm telling,
You
mark
see this
my
plus
words
here?
right now.
See that plus there?
Okay.
Just wait for that plus to
Evan,
kick the fucking door down. Don't tell me to stop. It's coming.
Evan, no,
Brother, it's coming. I promise. Come on.
buddy.
Don't buddy me. You're making me feel crazy.
But what drink do you want, bro? I'll buy you some drinks, dude. You want whiskey, bro? I'll get you.
But no, I do agree with you on the fact that there's a lot more changes coming. I do think, because the reason I say this is, why are they doing these changes on Fresh? This feels like beta test 2.0. This feels like they're now testing the baseline of vanilla versus the extreme line of vanilla changes. Because with Saw, they went to the extreme. Classic Fresh seems to be a whole new test, testing the baseline changes, like the minimum that people will accept as quality of life and improvements. And I think they're trying to figure out, like, between these two paths, like, you know, one is like, and then one's like very slightly up. Where's the middle ground that's very acceptable for everybody? Like, what will make all the classic Andys not freak out and still play, and make the Sod and like Plus and Enjoys be like, this is enough changes, it's still a great game. And I think Fresh is a 2.0 beta, because they initially said, this is just gonna be fresh, we wanna say authentic and true. And there's like 11 quality of life changes so far.
Yeah. I can see where you're coming from. I mean, it could be like a good way for a good testing ground for them to, maybe there is a couple more things they want to get an opinion from, the player bases. And maybe they're smart enough to realize that they know for a fact that the player bases are divided. So they're trying to get the analysis and the marketing from the sod Andes to the classic Andes. And they're trying to see how both mindsets react to different things. And once their testing is done, they can then come out with something, better for the future for
The
both
mystery
players
announcement.
to be to the mystery announcement, and it's very possible. You're not wrong on that. I mean, you gotta remember, at the end of the day, sod, like it was being an experiment, we were basically the test rabbits, for that game. We still are. The same thing is gonna happen when this classic fresh comes. I can't, I don't even know if I can call it that, but just this classic fresh when it happens. All right. And we're gonna see what happens after the end of its life cycle, and then I'm sure they have many other experiments to come to finally have something that is foolproof, and they can say that this is the version of the game that we want people playing for now on. And you could still play original classic if you really wanted to, but this is the classic plus in the future that we really feel like is going to answer everything from both parties and find a mutual ground.
No, I honestly, I vibe. I agree.
Yeah.
Which brings us on the next topic, chat. And this is going to be an interesting one, because Ashes creation. And Tello, you have plans, do you not? Why don't you share some plans with the people watching?
Yeah, so past 2 weeks, I actually been playing Ashes of Creation, and I know this is a classic plus podcast, but we will talk about after this, because there is a topic that we're talking about the future of just classic plus in general, this podcast, and obviously where we're going from there. So this is gonna all make sense in the end. So just hear it out. But yeah, I've been playing Ashes for the past 2 weeks, playing it heavily, very heavily, to the point where I have a character that's like level 16 on his way to 17, and it's a very grindy game. And I really thoroughly wanted to make sure that that game is worth your time, or maybe even worth Evan's time, and worth my time of investing into the future. And after full critical analysis, I have a project that I think I'm gonna delay it till tomorrow. I'm gonna put it out tomorrow morning, but it is a 40-minute review, in-depth analysis of the game director, of the company itself, the pricing, the labels, the history of the everything involving the studio, and the full-on gameplay, showing all the small little intricacies of everything that there is in Ash's creation to do currently right now for the alpha. And finally, is it worth your money at the end? And I was telling Evan here too that I genuinely think that he would have a fun time on Ashes of Creation. It's a whole new world. It's different. I know a lot of people feel like it is a scam. Don't get me wrong. I totally get where you're coming from, because I'm a regular consumer too. And I thought that as well at first, but after doing a lot of intensive research, I can safely say that right now, at the current moment, the game is not a scam. I do think it has a bright future ahead. And when I was playing, there was a lot of in-game GMs that were actively playing the game as well and talking to players and having fun. And honestly, I must say, I do think there is a future for Ashes of Creation in the MMO scene. Do I think will it be the number one MMO or the WoW killer? No, I don't think it'll be the WoW killer. I don't think ever anything will ever be the WoW killer. But can it take the spot for the number one MMO position? Possibly, very possibly. But I see it fitting in the MMO scene, in the atmosphere, more than anything, where people could say that, I play FF14, I play Lost Ark, I play, Throne and Liberty, but I also play Ashes of Creation, and I genuinely see a bright, bright future for Ashes after really, going through it all. So I don't want to rant any longer, but I think it's going to be really good. And there's just a lot of promise to it. And once they start adding the lore and more story to it, so we can actually see some stuff, then I think it's going to be very interesting. But there are some key things in that review tomorrow. Maybe you won't see that I maybe forgot to mention, but it doesn't incrementally hurt the game to the point where it's not worth trying out. So I'll let Eben, go from here and say what you want to say
And
with
like,
that.
it's gonna be a
Comment for me.
great video. I recommend everybody watch it. Tello makes some amazing content, and this is a very high quality, essentially an essay video for him. And
Yeah, it's the first time
it's
I'm doing something like this.
it's gonna be big. It's gonna be juicy. And like you said, Ashes isn't necessarily going to kill WoW or anything like that. It's gonna get a solid spot there. I think it'll be in the top 5. May overtake Final Fantasy 14, maybe just below it. Because
We'll see.
WoW has like 8-9 million subs across all its game modes. Final Fantasy is like 3 and a bit. Ashes will probably fit anywhere between 2 million to 5 or 6, around that ballpark. Like, I don't know where it's going to land. It just depends on whether Steven's actually a successful mad genius or a failing mad genius. And that's what you can't really predict, right? Like, he has good intentions. It's not a scam. I've done a lot of research as well, but it's more of a, he's got goals. He's got desires, ambitions. Will he make it? MMO's a fickle genre. It's a graveyard of games as far as genres go.
Yes.
And for me in particular, I am still going to be making Classic Plus, Classic Fresh, Classic content. But I'm going to expand my horizons with some Ashes videos. I'm going to be covering some other MMOs, like full-blown essays, for example, Lord of the Rings, Guild Wars 2. I am still primarily a World of Warcraft creator, but I like making essay content. I don't want to default to becoming a guides channel or anything like that. So I will still make a couple of guides for Fresh, a couple of like guide videos for SOD, whatnot. But I don't want to be a news guy forever. I want to make essays. I want to make high-quality, in-depth essays. And until Classic Plus gets closer, which it will, I'm going to be experimenting with more videos. So my content will still be primarily 50% to 75% fresh, classics, Classic Plus SOD content. But you will see a whole bunch of other Ashes, things of that nature sprinkled in. Which honestly then brings us to the next point, which is something that we do want to talk about, and that is Classic Plus show and the future of it. Now, as many of you know, we've been running this podcast for, this is episode 14. We have been running this shit for essentially 3.5 months now. And we've had a great time. We've spent a lot of time doing the lows, highs. We've just been grinding it out, making content, doing our best that we can to give you guys a high quality, or at least I hope it's high quality podcast. And we realized that there's only so much you can talk about when it comes to Classic. In the past, you had the Classic Cast, you had a few other podcasts, you have Warcraft Reloaded from Bob and a few others, and you end up regurgitating and rehashing the same topics over and over again. And we want to make each episode intriguing and interesting and full of content, but with Classic Plus essentially being delayed and Fresh being fresh, we don't know if we can give you guys a full, high quality, hour-and-a-half episode every single week of different topics. Because I don't want to be like, we brought a guest on, let's repeat the same topics of last week. There's one new topic this time, and then the week after, change the topics around an order, but it's the same topics, same things, because again, it's fresh, it's hardcore. So we are not ending the Classic Plus show. I know that kind of sounds where I was going. I should have probably opened it up with the Classic Plus show will live. We're probably going to drop to 2 episodes a month instead of 1 a week. Now, in some months, we might get 4 episodes, but realistically, we're looking at 2 episodes to 1 episode per week. So going forward, episodes will be coming out on the 1st and the 15th. And that way, you'll have everything. So next week, episode 15 will be the final episode of season 1. And then season 2 will be on the 1st and 15th of every month. And you'll still get to enjoy that show, have a great time. It'll be nice and entertaining. But next week's episode will be after OnlyFans has come out and Fresh has begun. And we'll have been in that for a couple of days, enjoying it. So we'll be able to give you guys a very interesting take and look at what the future of Classic is. Which, again, sounds like an ending, but it's not. Which brings us to the next point, because guess what? We're launching another podcast. Wow, who would have thought? And
podcast within the cast.
Podcast within the cast. And this is called Hate Theory. Now, we called it Hate Theory because we debated the name a bit. We thought about it we put quite a lot of effort into it, honestly. And we're calling it Hate Theory because of, essentially, Classic is a very negative audience to a degree because it's such a split audience. And the player base is kind of all over the place. There's a lot of positivity, but when it comes to online content and even the devs or the forums, it's much more negative because the people don't just comment on their version of the game or what they play. They comment positively on this topic, and then they go to every other topic and are negative about it. And the issue is the people on these topics are positive about their topic, but then they go to every other topic and are negative about it. And we thought about it, and I end a lot of my videos on with, if you liked it, please like and subscribe. If you hated it, still subscribe, and it's like every video manually. Be a dedicated hater. And then I do my outro. And we talked about this a bit before the episode, and we realized Hate Theory is our way of essentially talking about everything World of Warcraft. We'll be talking about the weekly news, things of that nature. But we'll also be discussing Ashes, upcoming MMOs, what's the news in the industry, Blizzard as a company as a whole, and things adjacent to, maybe there'll be a drama segment. We'll do a viewer segment where the viewership asks us what they want to do and discuss. But we essentially plan on taking the podcast to a more personal nature where the Classic Plus show is Warcraft heavily focused. And it's still going to be making those videos. The Hate Theory is about me and my boy Tello sharing our opinions and thoughts and energy with you guys about... It's just 2 boys fucking about. That's the best way to describe it. Okay, that sounded wrong. 2 boys...
Whoa!
Yeah, okay. 2 boys... bantering and having a good time.
Oh, all right. Dude.
There we go.
Bro, maybe you should let me out of this AA meeting, dude. Bro, open the door in the back, dude. You have that shit jammed shut. Let Axel out, bro.
Okay, you say it. Go ahead, and you talk about it a bit.
Oh, shit. I mean, I don't think we're there's none of the what he said before going on, all right? But basically, he is absolutely right. We were discussing the brand name last night, and we were just going about it because I really feel like that Eben is a phenomenal creator. I feel like I'm a phenomenal creator, and I feel like we're also up and coming creators as well. And I really believe in a lot what Eben does. And we were just like really brainstorming the name last night, and I just like dude, you do theories and you always ask for haters. So I was like, how about that? Let's give it a shot. See, it rolls off the tongue well. So and let me not even say that because we're getting a little freaky from before, so settle down. But regardless of that, I really think that there is a lot to basically talk about in just the gaming industry as a whole, and just be personal and feel like you guys are watching, just average Joes that are just macking and relaxing, the everyday, person that just comes home, wants to turn on a podcast and, maybe go to work to it, maybe fall asleep and just relax, and that's what we're all about. Is just,
Mhm.
we ain't special of the bunch, we're just like you guys, and we do this shit for you. And I really feel like that's what the podcast is all about, is about, humility and positivity, which I think is really important more than anything. And, just also addressing some hate, which we
Mhm.
which we love to do. Most importantly, is seeing all the bullshit online and making some fun and light of it, and poking some fun here and there. But I really think that that's really about it on what we want to do with the hater theory launch, and or just the hate theory launch, and go from there and give you guys a well-deserved product that I think you guys would enjoy, rather than just it always being about Classic Plus. Because
Mhm.
obviously, Evan's right, it's very limited on what we can talk right now. That door is kind of jammed closed with a
Mhm.
lock and a key, and we're just hopefully waiting down the line when that eventually does come. We won't be stopping it 100% necessarily, but definitely shortening the the amount of episodes that we are doing, as you mentioned before. And when that door does become open, maybe one day down the line, then there could be a broader, you know, duration of episodes. Maybe if Evan wants to do that, I'll
Mhm.
be more than down to do that too. But until then, yeah, that's what we're doing, amigos, and I hope you guys can appreciate that from everything that you've seen with me and Evan, and going from the future from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like immaculately said. The Classic Plus show, like I said, we may go back to 4 or even 8 episodes a month, like depending on like when Classic Plus gets close to launch, that show will pick right back up.
For sure.
Multiple guests, a lot more episodes, but the issue is I don't want to force an episode every week where we're like, so let's discuss the conspiracy theory about this one tweet Agron did for 2 hours. And
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like, because for a while there was a lot of energy and hype and vibe and theories leading up to Warcraft Direct and everything that we actually had the content to talk about it. But now that Warcraft Direct is essentially delayed, well, not Direct, Classic Plus is essentially delayed. We want to keep authentic and keep the show to what it is about, which is Classic Plus. And the next episode of the Classic Plus show will be on the 1st of December. So you guys, the next episode will be the end of season 1, and then there'll be a break, and then it'll be 15th of December, and the next one will be January 1st, and then henceforth.
Yeah.
Um, so next Tuesday will be the last episode 15, end of season 1, and season 2 will begin on December 15th. And then from there, every 15 days you'll get an episode. And then Hate Theory will be weekly. We will be launching. The date is not exact yet. We're still doing branding and all that stuff. So I'll announce it probably on the next final episode of season 1 for the Classic Plus show. We'll do the brand launch, and I'll do it at everyone on my Discord. Tello will as well. And we'll just go from there and just hope you guys enjoy the amazing show that we're trying to cook up for you guys. We're going to try to have way more guests on from multiple different genres and niches, and not just classic creators. And that's nothing wrong with that. We'll probably still bring people like Sadako or Showbrook or whatnot on. Those are great guests. Had a great time with them. But
Great.
like I said, Hate Theory is it's more than just about the singular topic, and more about a plethora of topics. Because I feel like there's so much to talk about. Why limit ourselves?
No, of course not. Why? There's a broader world out there, and many of great guests and individuals to speak to. And honestly, I think it could lead to much more variety of conversations,
Exactly.
especially with, like, people that do like to hate and leave comments below. Maybe we can even have some more chat style responses, and answer your guys' questions, and also talk shit about you guys too. Since you guys want to talk shit
Absolutely.
in the comments, talk shit, get hit. Simple as that. You know.
Absolutely. So we're gonna end the episode right there. So genuinely, I thank you all for watching. You guys are amazing. Couldn't do the show without the support from all of you. Tello, you have any closing messages for the people?
Nope. I guess I could just say, well, I said no, but basically, just keep on keeping on. Always remember to wake up every day and lock it in and feel happy with yourself. It's a blessing to be playing World of Warcraft with everybody, and having this opportunity to, have my presence here and Evan's presence. It's a blessing every day for us to just give you guys a good value and a good time of what we do, and we hope to continue doing that for you guys.
Thank you guys. Like Tello said, we just want to give you guys good content, right? This is just two guys. We're just bantering. We're having a good time. We're just trying to share content. Don't smile. Why are you making it weird? You immediately went there. I didn't even say anything sus. You immediately went there.
Bro.
You're the one making it suspicious.
Bro, you said it earlier.
Nonetheless,
bro, you're gonna get shot. For
dude, stop. Okay, no. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing time. My name is Ebenhart. You can find me everywhere at Ebenhart TV. Tell her, let them know where they can find you.
Hello, J Tello, everywhere on social media. Much love, guys.
All right. Peace out, everybody. Have a great day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are.